Hello, I'm Carol Peters with West Meadowbrook Neighborhood Association. I'm here today with another episode of Eastside Stories. Our subject is Crystal Culton, principal of Meadowbrook Middle School. So welcome, Crystal.
Thank you
and
so
thank
much.
you for being with us.
Thank you.
Crystal's going to talk today first about where we are. We're in a special place at Meadowbrook Middle School that has been developed by her as a gift to students.
Yeah, so we are in our STEM social emotional space. I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge the people that helped make this happen. So there is a local company called Williams Company. They came by at the beginning of the school year when I first started, and they said, hey, you know, what's going on? What do you need? We want to gift you some paper and pens and just things that they were getting rid of. And so I brought them to this space. And I told them that this was the custodian's office. Before that, it was like a little punishment room, ISS. You come in, you do your lunch detention. So it's been many things, but it's never been this. But I just told them, you know, I want a space where the students feel like anything's possible, anything, you know, the sky's the limit, and just to break away from the norm. And an incentive room. You know, I can come in, I can eat with the students can eat with each other, so a multi-purpose room. And I also partnered with another person called, she's Designs by Katrina. She normally does interior designing for homes. Brought her here, and I was like, hey, what can you do with this space? So the two together, Katrina did everything that you see. Williams Company donated about $10,000, and we made this room happen for the students. So you are actually the first to be one of the first to be in this room.
It's really nice, and I can see why middle schoolers would really like it.
They're gonna love it. So we hadn't had our grand opening yet, but it's coming soon.
Good. Let us know so we can come by and see how the kids react to it.
I will.
Crystal's first year was 2020. In a pandemic. So I have to ask you, as a new principal coming in and then having an anvil dropped on your head, what did you do? I mean, what did you think? How did you adjust?
Yeah, quickly. You have to adjust quickly. I think my background really set me up for success to be a first year principal in a pandemic. So now I really have nothing to compare it to, like a normal year. You know, as a principal, I'm not sure, I don't know, but my goal coming in, I knew just from my military background, was safety. I wanted to ensure that my teachers knew it was safe to come into the building, knew that when the kids were rolling back in, that they would still be safe. And so just putting those protocol systems in place to ensure that was my number one mission when we first opened up, especially rolling in the students. And then ensuring that the students know that this is going to feel different, especially the 7th and 8th graders. This is not going to feel like a typical year, and that's fine, and we'll get through it, but we'll get through it together safely. And I think the teachers really appreciated that.
So you told me earlier now that you have about 300 of 600 kids back in school. Is that correct?
Yeah, the campus right now is sitting at 660 students. We have 400 that are back so far. And then the lines and everything have changed. Hanley has been repurposed. And so we are gaining a population next year of about 900, possibly.
So
we'll
you'll be growing next year.
Yes.
Well, growth is good, I guess.
Growth is good.
Crystal, where did you come from? What's your background in Fort Worth ISD? Where have you taught? Where have you been an administrator?
So Fort Worth, I haven't been anywhere else but Fort Worth. For Fort Worth, I was raised in Rolling Hills, and so my community was Forest Oak, O.D. Wyatt, Glen Crest. Then I left there and I went to UTA. So I've never left Texas. Even in the Army, I did the National Guard, so I was protecting in Texas, you know, still. As far as schools, teaching in, I taught at Rosemont. I taught at Wedgwood. I coached new teachers for a few years as well. a new teacher specialist. And then after that, I went into the role of assistant principal at Riverside. And after 3 years there, I was interviewed by a committee, a fit committee, for this role, and got that, and super excited.
Have you always wanted to be a teacher or a principal?
I've always wanted to be a teacher. My principal told me when she first met me, which she's a director in HCM now, that I would be a principal when she met me. So I didn't always see principal, but I always wanted to be a teacher, English teacher.
Listen to your mentors. I understand from Suzelle Berkmeyer from Meadowbrook Elementary that you're known as the dynamic duo.
Mm-hmm.
And what does that mean?
So a lot of things we partner together. We try to keep our kids in contact with each other. We had big plans pre-COVID. So a lot of those things were put on hold as far as reading corners that are within the school, and having the students read to each other, and my kids going over there and sitting in the library and reading to her students. There were a lot of things that were supposed to happen that just couldn't this school year, but we're in the midst of planning right now to make sure that those partnerships and those plans to continue to grow Meadowbrook Elementary and Meadowbrook Middle actually take flight this next school year.
So you're a cohesive unit as
we talk every night,
transitioning back and forth. Yeah,
we
that's
do.
Fantastic.
Yeah, we talk every night. She'll check on students here. I'll go over there and check on fifth graders. My kids actually attend Meadowbrook Elementary, so she'll see me, in any what does she have? Parent meetings or anything like that. We see each other then. So yes, we are very closely connected. Her child is there as well. Mine is in first and second. Hers is in fourth. So it's just one large family.
What is your vision for Meadowbrook Middle? What do you see you taking this school?
Definitely, growing STEM is going to be one of my priorities, of course. But then with the pandemic, there is a great need for just that social emotional aspect, that social emotional support. Hence, this room as well, and just the different spaces throughout the school. So I think a happy student is going to be a successful student. So when they leave Suzelle, you kind of, if you're in education, you see that decline of students wanting to actually go to school. And that's what I don't want to go away. So that's another reason for the partnership, is to make sure that happiness that those kids are, showing when they arrive at school, and we get that same vibe when they come over here as well. So social emotional is a big piece, and I'm really big on Maslow's before Bloom's, taking care of the kids mentally before we dive into academics.
You mentioned STEM. Now, could you explain what STEM is here? Meadowbrook Middle is a STEM prep kind of school,
yes.
Correct? And what is that exactly? What happens?
So the students they have a track, and it's various tracks, and it kind of starts with math. So they'll come in, they'll take a math test, and then that will allow us to see what track they'll be on. So sometimes the students will start in they're coming from Suzelle, they take a test, and it shows that they can take 7th grade math. So we don't start them in 6th grade math. We start them doing 7th, 8th grade math. So, or it may show that they can start in 8th grade math. Well, we speed them up and they start in 8th grade math. So the advancements that they get in math is wonderful, because then they start taking those high school courses here with us. They're able to do different things when they get to high school, college courses. They have time to do that. The science part, same exact scenario. You would take a test and then you're placed. And so science and math kind of work together. Those kids and everybody, they are on the same halls. The teachers are on the same teams. They team up and work with the students. We also have an enrichment program with Lockheed Martin, because there have been so many gaps, no matter if the student is very successful or struggling, the pandemic has taken a toll on them all. So we have an enrichment program through Lockheed Martin, and they do their enrichment hour at night. So it's anywhere from 5:30 to 8 o'clock on Zoom. That is going to launch next week. So
Oh.
kids are excited about that. The teachers are excited about that. We worked a few problems together last night, and they were just, they're an awesome team. So I can't wait to see that and present that to the kids. But yeah, it's just growing them in science and engineering. They have their engineering classes here.
So STEM stands for?
Science, technology, engineering, math.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Just want to make sure in case anybody viewing this doesn't know what STEM is. But STEM students could be targeting or moving up to IM Terrell. Is that correct? When they
Many of the kids can
after
go to.
they can move out of middle school and go to IM Terrell. Is that the goal, or
Yes.
anywhere they want? But
I always say that my kids can go wherever they want. They want because they have that foundation, that strong foundation from us. But yes, many of the kids do go into IM Terrell. Some do go to Eastern Hills to do law. A few of them will go to Marine Creek because they have that medical background or medical need or want. So they'll go there. But mainly they kind of feed into IM Terrell.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, I certainly appreciate this. Thank you. And we hope that we can take a tour soon. I'd like to, following this interview, we're going to walk through the school and see some of the changes that Crystal has started here. So I really thank you for being here. And we're going to be visiting next month with Suzelle, who's at Meadowbrook Elementary, and she's going to be talking about how she reacts with Crystal. I'm sure I'm going to get the same story, right? Since you talk every night. So I appreciate you being here, and thank you for watching another episode of Eastside Stories.